I wanted to thank the people in the comments who corrected me on a certain point that I talked about that was that is going to happen in this episode. For the most part, my point still stands for the official translation of the manga, but it is very nice that the anime managed to squeeze it in the previous episode. So, you know, big props to the anime for doing that. I really, I've already said this in terms of like the creativity that the anime has been doing with it switching a few chapters around and just putting things in a timeline, you know, in a better timeline that makes it look like it flows a lot better. So I appreciate the things that they're doing, and again, with them actually being able to squeeze in this one particular subject, you know, for just like one scene that's gonna come up in this episode. I really appreciate it, and again, thank you to the people who pointed it out to me. No recaps, I'm just excited to get into this episode. So if you enjoyed the content, remember to leave this video a like and subscribe if you haven't. And if you didn't like the content, dislike the video and we'll be on our way. Let's get started. Mm-hmm. That's right. And yet... Well, what are you gonna do? Well, if she feels embarrassed for being stuck with you, why the fuck does she, you know, why did she wait for you in the, while you're in the fucking restroom? Milk tea! There you go. Toss a joke to her, huh? Hey, you know, he's giving you the distance. Don't want to be too awkward and sit right next to you. And it'd be a little awkward still if he sat one seat away from you. Ah, that's nice. So, that's the scene I was talking about in the beginning for the anime watchers. in the anime, right, they squeezed it in during the time when Yamada wanted to go into the convenience store and she was talking about how she wanted to get some milk tea. So in the anime, you know, it's just Ichikawa picking up on it while he was listening to her, because the boy is always paying attention to her. But in the manga, we don't really, in the official translation anyways, right, here, we don't really get any pretense to it. So when he gives her the milk tea, you know, she gets that like big blush. Here in the anime, it's very nice, you know, because milk tea is one of her favorite drink. And here is this boy, you know, on a time when she's feeling quite sad, here he is, giving her favorite drink and making her laugh. What is this, schizophrenia simulator? What's with these whisperings? Well, lucky for her. Yeah, lucky them. Once they fucking get out of that place, they're just gonna smell like pizza. Wow, crazy, dude. Ain't that just a thing in Japan, though? People don't really do a lot of PDA. Oh, shit! I love the fucking constant build-up. They kind of do that with the elevator last episode, too. Someone spoiled her. Oh! We all make mistake out here. He's at home. Oh my god. Why does this bomb look so fucking huge? Us all that yesterday. Oh shit. Oh, now he's telling it to you. You haven't finished your food yet. Damn, dude. What, you don't consider Yamada a friend? You guys, y'all been fucking hanging out? The shit? Oh, he's still thinking about... God, imagine making fun of people that you just end up spending time with them, am I right? It's what I like to do with my friends. Actually, they're not my friends. I'm just here to make fun of them. That's why I spend time with them. She's the PE teacher. She's out here inspecting people. Kimi-iro Octave. Octave? She was... You better treat those manga with care. Just forget about it. Just don't think about it. It's only like you're giving him 3 volumes. That's like you've just spoiled a big old plot line. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Look at that. She remembered, though. What did you, huh? Better say something. You know, I really like this piece right here. I guess maybe I do enjoy school. It's just so nice. And like, it really captures that feel of like, not to say a first love, but you know, like a feeling of someone in love. Yes, manga's just... Oh, I can see someone's not treating their manga with care, just having fucking food crumbs in the creases of the mangas. Come on, come on, she wants to talk to you about it. There's Adachi. Look at this inquisitive look. What's with these people just appearing right next to him? Why are you gonna sound so intimidating? What are you doing? Finally turned to bullying. Then why did you fucking ask, brother? Is he trying to... Well, he's not gonna say that. Look at these boys having love talk. Who is they? The internet? Did you fucking go to the Google Council? He's just confessed. He's really out here like, I've been wanking after her. Are you blind or something? God, that manga is so small. It's just... Perhaps it's just a physical attraction that he's mistaking for love. I mean, all the other boys... All the... your fucking group has already known. Mm-hmm. Uh-oh. But why did you feel so gross when you heard Adachi talking about her figures? Well, someone knows that somebody's eating. And then what? Give them a beating? The library teacher. It's not a librarian. They're planting traps. Look, dude, she's playing 5D chess. You're the one who's been tossing the trash away for her. Isn't that just the cough drop? She's correct. Although, even... Love that they're blurring out the manga panels. He says as she's pulling out some chocolate. She's a delinquent. She's a troublemaker out here, dude. She's breaking the rules. Okay. If the teacher was behind her, she literally could have just heard Yamada say that. Oh, I melted it. Oh, I was wondering. I melted it. Alright. Excuse me, public indecency out here! Wow, the change in, like, the lighting. Now it's all purple. Damn, dude, the boy she liked just fucking took her by her hand. Go away. Wait, what happened to her box of candy? She's not gonna waste any. Look, she's not gonna fucking let this chocolate go to waste. Over with. I guess purple is like close to blue, and blue is a rather solemn color. Oh, we're out here in yellow now. If she's not eating snacks, she'll find another excuse. I see those almonds. Sorry, Ichikawa, you can't kick her out of the library. Wow! That was nice. That was a nice, nice episode. He did technically. Oh. Oh, we're back to this. Oh, see, look! See, look, it wasn't her, it was him! She's out here playing 5D chess! Oh, shit! It was a criminal evidence, so he decided to keep it. It seems that he was the one who was playing 5D chess out here. She was only on 4D. Okay. Alright, we're gonna get back to the center. Alright, so that was episode 6, episode 6 of of BokuYaba. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. You know that I always like talking to you guys. For me, I thought that this was a pretty good episode. I really enjoy it, and as I've mentioned, I've been really enjoying this adaptation. Again, I still just have like minor nitpicks, but that's just coming from me being a person who really enjoys the manga, and there are certain things that I just feel like should have been done a little bit better, but that doesn't mean that it's not good, you know, doesn't mean that it's bad or anything. It's just, again, me being a bit of a manga head and just being like, oh, why isn't it not like this? You know, that sort of feeling. But just to repeat myself again, this adaptation has been fucking great so far, and I really, really enjoy it. And I especially love, well, I mean, I'm just a broken record at this point, but I've mentioned it with that piano piece with Ichikawa, that like really illustrates what Ichikawa's feeling, you know, this feeling of love, this almost pure and sweet love that he has, except, you know, he has confessed to us and has multiple times shown before that he that he wanks after. But going to the beginning, which well, actually I don't need to say much about the beginning with the whole milk tea stuff, right? Because I've already talked about it during the opening, so very nice, very nice. So we'll just skip past that and we'll head on over to the train scene with everybody. Well, I mean, this is where, you know, when we were here at the train scene, there was just slight, like, whispering. I'm just over here like, god damn, dude. I get it, you know, it's a train setting, everybody's a little quiet, so people are, like, whispering to each other and all that. But all you hear is... And then once they start talking, the whispering stops. But we have Ichikawa having this wonder of, like, how well known is Yamada as a model, because he's, again, very conscious about Yamada, and he wonders if there are people who are here who's going to recognize her. And we kind of skip through this part of the monologue with Ichikawa where he decides to walk away from her because, well, he has this fear of, like, well, if somebody recognizes her as a model, and this whole spiel of, like, models and stuff, I suppose, is kind of like an idol where, like, you don't want to have your relationship out in public and all that, and what if somebody sees him and her on the train together, you know? Somebody might think of it wrong and it might hurt her reputation, or as he says in the manga, if they see her alone with me, it might hurt her reputation. So he's just kind of taking the step away from her in order to, because he's, again, conscious about her, and so he's thinking about what he should be doing in order to save her reputation, to keep her to continue doing with her job and all that. And so with Yamada hugging him, or hugging his backpack, technically, but she's still quite close to him, you know, she's out here just fucking holding on to him, and they were having talks about so, you know, she's talking about, why can't I I was talking about them in the previous episode, why can't I know Hara, Kanzaki, there you go. So Hara and Kanzaki, you know, she's out here like, you think those two are going out? Bringing up the topic of dates and all that. And I love that she just says, pretty crazy, dating someone from the same class, huh? Oh my god. Wild. I remember kids forming couples back in elementary schools, always holding hands, and she brings up this topic of, I think it might be more fun to keep things secret though. Yeah, don't you think, Ichikawa? You know, say, what do you think? And he's just over here like, I don't know, are you asking me this question? You know, this is... Yamada continues to throw out a whole bunch of signals at him, right? You know, it's like, out of everyone, why is she talking to you specifically about dating, and what do you think about keeping secrets when it comes to dating someone, right? And sometimes Ichikawa catches the signal, as you see in the previous episodes, although in this episode you don't really see that he's catching these signals that she's been giving to him, which is the first one right here is about the actually it even goes all the way back to like the beginning of this episode with him thinking about like, oh, maybe she's just really embarrassed to having to be stuck with me. And it kind of goes back to that question of if she's embarrassed to be stuck here with you, why did she wait for you in the first place? And here's this other signal that he's kind of missing because his brain is overloaded right now, you know, she's a little too close to him. And so this signal that she's tossing out about like dating in secret and all that, he's not catching that one either. But they ended up making back, and this was an extra panel right here, a 4-coma with Kobayashi apologizing to Yamada, and Yamada's just out here like, everybody makes mistakes, acting all benevolent, even though she's the reason why. Oh, why Kobayashi is feeling this way. But Yamada had a great time either way, you know, she got to go buy herself some drumsticks, so good for her. And in the next scene, we see breakfast, which is bread, bacon, and eggs, and a salad, you know? You know, the Japanese, they know how to be efficient, that's all I'm gonna say. You know, Americans out here, they put everything out on a plate, but everything's all separate, you know? We've got eggs, bacon, and then a slice of bread, you know, usually cut in half and all that. The Japanese is just like, no, we're just gonna put it all in one, we're gonna put it all together for you. I've actually never tried it like that, where they fry the bacon, and then once the bacon is finished, that's when they crack the egg on top of the bacon, and that's how they get it like that. It sounds pretty nice, honestly. So I might consider trying that. Anyways, I'm not here to talk about breakfast. But we got to see a little bit more of Ichikawa's family. We got to see more of Kana as well. And we didn't really hear his mom talk, but you know, maybe we'll get to hear his mom talk later on. But very fun. We get to see him talking and complaining about the people, about the school trips and everything, right? Here we have Kana, who goes and says, didn't you tell us that yesterday? And Ichikawa says, oh, I was telling our mom that yesterday, and now I'm telling it to you, come on. And I love it that she's out here giving a little bit of a tease, saying like, oh, seems like you're having fun at school, huh? Hey, what happened to that bacon? I just realized, there's just eggs in here. Can't believe the bacon disappeared in... Can't believe the bacon disappeared off somewhere. Oh, the bacon, it's back. Anyways, with his sister teasing him and talking about how he's been enjoying school lately, he shrugs off, you know, yeah, right, I still don't have any friends. And then he thinks about Yamada before he shrugs off to be like, oh no, she's not actually my friend or anything, she's just making fun of me. And it's just one big long joke about how she's just hanging, she's willing to spend time with me just to make fun of me, you know? And as he says in this dialogue here, I'm the one who will end up hurt in the end. And so we see Yamada standing out here like a gym teacher, inspecting people's clothes and school uniform and whatnot, right? She's waiting for someone. And of course, here he is, not really realizing that she's waiting for him. And so, I love that he's trying to sneak in. He's just like, oh, I gotta keep my head low. And so, of course, she stops him, and she goes and follows him into the school. She gives him the manga, Kimi-iro Octave, which I'm still... Hold on, maybe if I actually go into the manga, I'll figure out what it's called. Your Collar's Octave. Okay, that's what it is. So, this idea that he shoved off, thinking that she was just making fun of him for it, because of what Kobayashi said, you know, she's actually serious, and she wants to give him this manga, and... You know, she knows that he likes manga, and she wants to, other than, well, I mean, she's not really, she wants him to get into her interests, right? Because she has shown that she is interested in his interest just because it's him, you know, and she likes him, and so she wants to get into that, but she wants him to get into her interest as well, right? Which is the shoujo manga. And I love Yamada being this person who talks about, like... giving him like this big fat fucking spoiler, like, oh, their friends die at one point and a whole lot happens. And he's just over here like, did you just give me a spoiler? And she's just over here like, oh, no, it's like way in the beginning, you know, like volume 3, which is not in the beginning at all, but it's just in volume 3, that's alright, she says, as she gives him like only volume 1 to 3, so like you've basically just spoiled him the last manga that he's gonna have. And of course, with her saying, make sure you read it, okay? You know, she's trying to make sure that he's going to fucking do it instead of just holding on to her manga. And here we have Ichikawa, who does not catch this signal as well, with him asking, like, I thought you were waiting for someone at the front gate. You can't be waiting for me. And, God, dude, Yamada's just out here like, oh, oh, and she just has to like back up like, oh yeah, you're right. Oh dude, that fucking feeling of just like, ooh. After school, here he is reading a book that's not a manga, or as he says, he prefers to read manga at home, but she's very insistent on wanting him to read the manga, so she's just out here like, read it now. I'm gonna force this fucking manga down your throat. This is a mention of a really grotesque book from Ichikawa, which I think somebody else had kind of mentioned, like they kind of toned down the whole him like having this murder on his mind and all that. It kind of died off a little bit by like episode 3-ish, somewhere around there, maybe episode 2. You know, but they really did tone it down for the manga and everything. Sorry, for the anime and everything. But it is something that's kind of a little bit more consistent in the manga, with him always reading about this, and you can kind of see it a little bit with like when he stopped Adachi from coming over to Yamada by flicking his box cutter and then telling Adachi to wait, and him's just over here opening up his box cutter and everything. You know, that whole murder mindset of his. We did see it just a little bit, but again, I think the anime tones it down a whole lot more, which is kind of understandable. It's a little bit more digestible. Also, with the continued theme of him thinking about grotesque things and murder and all that, we had him reading the murder encyclopedia, which is nice. I'm really glad that they're kind of bringing it back as well, you know, just to remind you that he is this boy from like the first 3 minutes of the episode 1. Yeah, he's a sick boy who's always thinking about murder. But after the accident that they have with Yamada having her boobs pressing up against Ichikawa, although it kind of didn't look like it in the last scene, but that's okay. And so as she's about to leave, his feelings leaked out a little bit, you know. He calls her out and he's just like, why did I call her out? And he asks a question, which is like, are you gonna go to school? Are you gonna come to school tomorrow? And it's like, well, she's a student. Of course she's gonna come to school tomorrow, unless she's sick. But it's very nice because, you know, the reason why he's been enjoying school so much is because of Yamada. And so here he is asking her, are you coming to school tomorrow? Because, you know, my school days kind of suck without you. Of course, we have Yamada with, you know, a nice little smile, just knowing that he does care for me in his own ways. Or as she says in Your Colors Octave, where she was talking about the spoilers and everything, right? And so she says, but that cool looking guy on the back cover turns out to be really sweet, and before Ichikawa cuts him out. But, you know, it'll be very fun to see a little bit more of Kimi-iro Octave, as the subtitle says. Anyways, this was a good scene. I enjoyed it, and off we go to the next scene, which I won't really talk much about because that's just him looking at the manga and figuring out how she reads her manga, and he wasn't able to concentrate. But as Yamada is continuing to insist that he reads the manga, we see Adachi, who has that inquisitive look, you know, that little eyebrow on him. And I like that they're using it, and he's reading the shoujo manga. Just out in school, which is just fantastic. I thought you said you don't read manga in school, huh? Even though he says can't go reading it in class either, but reading it in school is totally fine. I really love that they're blurring out the pictures. But here we have Adachi, you know, asking, why you talking to her? You know, what's going on? Yeah, you guys are classmates and all that, but don't you guys seem a little close? And so here we have Adachi kind of talking about his crush on Yamada, and he's just kind of like, oh, I've recently realized it. And we're kind of seeing the difference. And this is the one scene that I have a little bit of a nitpick on. You're gonna get tired of me saying that by the end of the series. The one thing that, in terms of the nitpick, is actually just that feeling of, wait, oh, hold on. It's the music that I was just kind of like, huh, it kind of sounds like they're making this a little comical almost the way that Adachi's talking to her, but I really felt it a little bit different. But you know, this is just how I feel. Maybe that's just not how Norio Sakurai had envisioned it. It's this, I think it's this music, isn't it? Right, it sounds, has that little bit of like, not uplifting, but like something different, but it does really feel like a little comical with the way that they're trying to portray Adachi. Yeah, before they started with this music, that's a little bit more melodramatic or melancholic, and then when he goes into this, when he starts talking about her figures, it goes into like the music dies off, and then it gets into that like horns almost. Yeah. So like that's where the feeling gets real. And here's just this is just Ichikawa. Okay, well, I mean, I'm literally just speaking in pieces at this point, but you know, if you've seen the episode, you know. But here's Ichikawa being very confused about his feelings for Yamada as he gets to hear Ichikawa talks about his feelings for her, right? You know, with him asking like, when did you feel this? He's like, I've come to realize it recently. And so as he asks, what do you feel about her? And the reasons why he liked her is because she's got a nice face, she's got big bitties, she's got nice thighs. I believe that was also one of the things that, you know, he said plump thighs or something, whatever. But as Ichikawa comes to realize, these are all physical things, you know, this feeling that Adachi is feeling is just a physical attraction, and he's mistaking it for love. And as he says, they say, if you can't jerk off to a person that to this person that you've always been jerking off for, it means that you've liked them for real. And I assume he just took it to heart. He's just like, yeah, that's it, you know, I like her. And it's definitely not because of you know, it's not because like some sort of lust that I've mistaken for love. But he's in middle school, he doesn't understand it. But also he has never really had the chance to, whether he never had the chance to talk to Yamada, or he never really took that chance, or he never really looked at Yamada past her physical appearance. You know, we know that in the scene, Ichikawa, well, at least in the manga, and besides the way that they're kind of showcasing this, I liked it in the manga where it shows that Ichikawa is a little upset by this, although you can kind of still get it through his monologue and why when he says like, oh, the way that he says it, you know, really irks me, or like I feel disgusted by the way that he just describes her, right? But it's emoted a whole lot more in the way that, and of course he can't really do this because in the anime it showcases him reading Your Color's Octave. So despite him having that upsetness, we can't really show him squeezing his book because it's not his book, it's Yamada's book, so he can't do that. So, you know, that's where just that tiny little divergence that the anime is taking, because if he was just holding his own book and, you know, he gets that feeling of frustration and you can see it in his face, which the anime doesn't showcase it here. Again, he gets a little bit upset by that, and he just can't really stand to listen to Adachi anymore, because we know that Ichikawa knows that there is more to Yamada's looks. You know, he likes the way that she is. You know, she's a little bit weird. She's a little bit, you know, she acts a little bit like a goofball, and in Ichikawa's eyes, you can kind of see it. You know, she's a little bit dumb, but but you know, she's a very nice girl. She's very kind. You can see that she does remember conversations between her and Ichikawa, like when she sees that like he's sitting down at the library, and she makes note that, hey, I asked you last time on why you don't sit in the library, and you said this, and this, right? Also, he knows that she's quite the glutton as well. You know, she eats a lot of snacks. She's a little messy, so like he has all these things that goes way beyond the physical attraction, even though he admits that he does eye her. He has eyed her all over, right? You know, he has that, but again, he's able to see Yamada beyond that. So for Adachi to just tell him this very surface level thing, it's not very good, you know? It's a little upsetting, but it makes him doubt this feeling that he has for Yamada and whether it's actually like or not. Which is something that is reaffirmed in the next scene with the library and the, as they say, the library teacher? The librarian? Is that all she is? She's just in the library, she doesn't teach class. Anyways. So with the scene of her eating despite them having that giant sign up and him seeing the librarian that is that's about to walk past the bookshelf and you know, see her and all that. He actually, okay, hold on. Okay, that actually makes sense. Okay, so like, you know, he slams his book down on the chocolate and then he grabs her hand in order to cover up the chocolate. And he just goes and he says like, you know, I like her so much, and he's able to just reaffirm his feelings again, despite that initial confusion that he's got from Adachi. So it's very nice to see the way that it correlates with each other. Going back to that minor nitpick that I have, I actually do kind of understand the way that they showcase, they don't showcase his low frustration or irritation or, you know, him being a little upset by just not showing his expression at all, you know, just to give that little bit of ambiguity. Why am I having to? But, you know, to give off that slight feeling and then just bring it on over to the next line of why do I feel so gross? It only used to irk me a little when they talk dirty about her, because she used to be the butt of their dirty jokes. And he's like, I've eyed her up plenty of times. Why does it bother me now? And so I think that's when he goes and he says, right? He says, is this the feeling that I like her? Yeah, is this feeling a sign that I really like her? Okay, so I do like that, you know. Again, a nitpick is just a nitpick. The scene is still very nice. So yeah, it just continues to, I was gonna say encourage, to build up, to enforce that feeling of like that he has for her. I really like that despite it showing him slamming his book down on the chocolate, it's just vanished off of the table. Where did it go? I don't know. But also, I love the mood lighting as it changes, right? From like the sunset to this purple hue to show a little bit of melancholy, right? As Ichikawa was thinking before about how, oh, now that are doubling down on people not being able to eat in the library, you know, this means that she won't have an excuse to eat here anymore, and that means that we won't have a reason to meet anymore, to eat. Okay, I said eat before, it just rhymed with meat. So like they wouldn't have a reason to talk to each other, essentially, because this is the only place that they could talk with each other. After he saved her from the whole chocolate, and also her licking the chocolate, you can't waste it, and all that jazz, I love that quick turn that he does. He's just like, I know what you're doing out here. But before he leaves, right, he goes and he says, you should lay off the snacks. And he kind of feels like that's a finality. Like, okay, this is the final time. I've told her that she needs to stop eating, and if she stops eating here, then we're never going to talk again. That's the end of it. This is no more. No more of this shenanigan that we're going to have. And very nice again with the rather purple lighting and the melancholic mood of him feeling like this is goodbye forever, even though they're in the same class, but whatever. But immediately after that purple lighting, we have a yellow lighting, which you could kind of count it as cowardice, but I guess yellow lighting would also have a different feel as well. I don't know what is the emotion of yellow. Hold on. Yellow is optimism. There you go. So after that purple lighting, we have a more yellow lighting, which is more optimistic, because despite him saying that you should lay off, and despite the library saying no food in class, here we have Yamada still in the library despite all of that, and her saying, oh, I thought I could do my homework here, you know, instead of eating snacks, despite she's still eating snacks, but here she is finding some sort of other reason to be in the library because, of course, she likes Ichikawa and she wants to spend time with him, and if she can't use the opportunity to eat snacks anymore, she's going to use some sort of other excuse in order to be in the library. So it's very nice. I love it. I love the fucking coloring that they had in this episode. I am going to talk just a little bit about the manga, so if you are anime only, I will see you guys in the next episode. Okay, there was this one part that I wanted to talk about, which was all the way after this part with him, with his sister teasing him about how right here, this part right here, right? When he was thinking about like, oh, going to school, I don't have any friends and all that. And him thinking about them making fun of him, you know, he's just like, I know they're really just making fun of me. I'm the one who will end up hurt in the end. It's a very nice setup to what happens later on. I can't remember. This is... Oh, Odin. It's the next one. Okay. That's technically the end of... I just realized this is technically the end of volume 2. We skipped through one chapter, but I assume we're gonna go back to that chapter later because this is also a build-up to what I'm talking about. So hold on, I need to grab volume 3. Alright, I have to check if volume 3 is where I think it is, or it might be... No, it is in volume 3, so it is a build-up to volume 3, towards the end of volume 3, where, you know that, I mean, we're here in the manga-only section, where Yamada uses Ichikawa in order to get the Paisen to back off of her. So we have this build-up with Ichikawa saying like, oh, they're just making fun of me. I will be the one who will end up hurt in the end. And he is already having that idea built up. So it's really nice as I assume we're going to get that continuation of the Paisen hitting on Yamada and Yamada trying to get him the fuck away from her, but he's just very persistent and he's just going to continue to hit on her. And despite despite Paisen being a somewhat of a chill guy, the way that he hits on Yamada and the way that you kind of see him in the beginning with him hitting on her by just, well, not really hitting on her at this point. He was just trying to coerce her into sharing her line with him, where he just grabs her by her hand and, or her arm, and he doesn't let her go. And he just says like, hey, quit fucking around. Quit playing around. I'm not joking. Give me your line. Not as, he wasn't really, I mean, he was being a little aggressive, but he wasn't being that aggressive. But that was just him, it's that feeling of like, you're going to whittle down a girl or a woman if you're like flirting with people, with you know, certain people. And like, it's that tactic of just whittling them down until they're just finally, their defenses are just down and they're just finally going to give you what you want just so you can back away. So just so you could leave them the fuck away, them alone. And that was kind of like what Yamada was going to do. You know, she was just going to share her line with him because he grabbed her arm and he wasn't going to let her go. And so he has that sort of like, it's not a good way to, that's all I'm gonna say, it's not a good way to hit on someone. You know, if they told you no already before, you know, you probably shouldn't try to continue to, you know, to hit on them. Or at the very least, you know, Yamada didn't really give him signs that she likes him or anything. You know, she kept deflecting the situation. And the second time we saw Paisen again was at the school festival, where he was trying to hit up on Yamada, but here is Moeka and friends. Well, Yamada and friends, but you know, it's, Moeka's the vanguard out here. So she was the one who was just chatting him up and she was the one who got the line with him. Good on Moeka. But yeah, that was the second time we saw him in the anime, so I assume as we're continuing on to volume 3, we're going to see more of Paisen flirting with her, or you know, trying to hit on her and all that, and she's just trying to not tell it, you know, in her own way. She doesn't want to be mean because that's just how it is for you know, most girls. They don't want to be mean and just straight up say, fuck you, I don't want to, I'm not interested. And I love the way that it builds up on this. And also, again, with Ichikawa being the person who says, like, I'm going to be the one who will end up hurt by the end. And so, with him and having that mindset, and then we have the climax of her using him in order to get Tyson off of her. He finally comes to the realization that this whole time it is exactly what he thought. She was just using him, and he hates Yamada because of that. Right? It's such a nice build-up that we have to that part, so it's going to be very exciting when we're going to see that. I assume maybe in like what episode are we on? Episode 6. So we're gonna hit episode 7, so maybe like episode 9-ish is where we're going to see the climax of volume 3, and then we're gonna hit volume 4, so that's going to be fun. Where is volume 4 actually? I'm gonna go read volume 4 one second. I don't want to actually read it, I just want to look at chapter, God, all the way up to chapter 57. Goodness gracious. Okay, so chapter 4, volume 4 is when he breaks his arm. Okay, but alright, that's all I wanted to talk about in terms of the manga and what's going to be exciting to see in the next 3 episodes for volume 3. So very fun, very exciting, and if I have anything else to say, I will write it in the description down below. Thank you guys for sticking around, and I will see you guys in the next episode.